Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Global Happenings Today YouTube channel. Many thanks for keeping faith with us. Many Southeasterners were quite hopeful that Bola Ahmed Tinubu, one of the biggest gifts, Christmas gifts he would have given to Southeasterners, was to release their illustrious son, Nnamdi Kanu, from detention prison that he has been for many years now. A quick one: one of Anambra State ex-governor Ezife passed on. Meji Genturu, rest in peace. But let's quickly move on to the Supreme Court verdict. The verdict definitely shocked a lot of Southeasterners. Of course, the likes of Abaribe has reacted to the shocking news, which at the level of Supreme Court, one would have expected that the government would be much more friendlier than that of Buhari's regime. Apparently, that's not what it will look like. And of course, the likes of Abaribe has reacted, Ohanaeze Ndigbo has reacted, and of course, his lawyer have decided to tell Nigerians and supporters of Nnamdi Kanu, their next line of action. The Supreme Court, what could be the next line of action? You're going to find out in a jiffy. Let's find out what it is. But before we do that, kindly subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see a bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as we update our channel on YouTube. Now, following the Supreme Court decision to uphold Nnamdi Kanu's trial on terrorism charges, his lawyer, Aloy Ejimako, has vowed to immediately seek bail for the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB. Kanu's legal team had hoped the Supreme Court would affirm the Court of Appeal's October 2022 ruling discharging and acquitting him. However, the Apex Court overturned that decision, arguing that while Kanu's extradition from Kenya was unlawful, it did not prevent his trial from proceeding. We shall proceed with a appeal bail application, appeals to reinstate his bail in line with the ruling of the Supreme Court, Ejimako said to reporters, expressing his disappointment with the verdict. Now, the Supreme Court judgment, delivered by Justice Garba Lawal, stated that no Nigerian law prohibits trying a defendant despite an unlawful extradition. Lawal argued that Kanu could pursue a separate civil case regarding his rendition, but that did not impede his ongoing trial. Now, Kanu is accused by the Nigerian government of terrorism and inciting violence. Ejimako, Kanu's special counsel, further criticized the Supreme Court stance on the extraordinary rendition, arguing it undermines the principle of fair hearing. Now, the Supreme Court justified its position on the theory that our jurisprudence has not developed to the point of recognizing extraordinary rendition as a barrier to prosecution. That is so wrong, he said, accusing the court of implying that Nigerian law is primitive and retrograde. Okay, but let's find out what the person of Abaribe has to say. Remember, Abaribe was one of his sureties that almost cost him his Senate seat, but somehow along the line, favor found him, mercy found him, and though he stood his ground, I must say. Then, of course, according to the lawmaker representing Abia District, Abaribe has reacted to the Supreme Court ruling against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu. The Apex Court had upturned the decision of the appeal court, which granted Kanu's release from the Department of State Services DSS custody. Now, in a statement a few hours after the judgment on Friday, Abaribe called for calm, assuring that Southeast leaders will vigorously pursue a political solution that will ultimately set him free. Now, Senator Abaribe has called for calm and implored the Southeast not to despair over the outcome of the Supreme Court. Abaribe said, and I quote him, "I am of the firm belief that this current federal government will do something very fast to release Nnamdi Kanu, if for no other reason but for the national cohesion and unity of the country. As leaders, we shall continue to press for a solution that will be the best in this circumstance." Now, the senator who once stood as Kanu's surety also expressed shock over the sudden death of the ex-governor of Anambra State, Dr. Chukwuemeka Ezeife, describing it as the great fall of an Iroko tree in Igbo land and Nigeria. Senator Abaribe lamented that Okwadike's death has once more robbed Igbo and Nigeria of a consummate advocate of people's right and equality for all. He said Ezeife spent his life, particularly his latter days on earth, preaching for equity, justice, fairness, and good governance in Nigeria. Especially, he was most vocal on the Igbo question and their place in the Nigerian project. Okwadike never hid his feelings, and has such voiced out his opinion on vexed national issues as it affected his beloved Igbo. He spoke the truth to power, no matter whose ox was gored, Abaribe said. He was a man of panaki and candor who carved a national image for himself, being a cultural icon, a brave warrior who loved our people so dearly. Okwadike will be sorely missed. His resolute and fearless stand on national discussion would be too hard to replace. Ironically, he died on the eve of a day our brother Nnamdi Kanu was denied release by the Supreme Court. It could have been a fitting gift to him. Oh well, like I said earlier, and again, condolences to the family of the it's quite a big man, I must say, one of Igbo's finest, elder statesman politically and even age-wise. He will sorely be missed, like Abaribe has rightly said. But then again, Abaribe, having tested firsthand how the Southeasterners will feel about the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, is already telling them, please do not do anything rash. Okay, yes, this government is quite different from the previous one, and this government is fairly new. We could look through this issue from a political point of view. Okay, political point of view in the sense that they have probably looked at the issue legally through the judiciary. Can we try politically? If you ask me if they use the right method, approach the right way, just maybe the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu may give a hearing. But then again, it's dicey. One is the sense that the President may be a bit scared that if he eventually grants that bail or gives him that amnesty or freedom, he may travel back again, and this time around double up his effort on the issue of actualization of Biafra, which will destabilize his administration. But then again, if he doesn't allow Nnamdi Kanu to go, it will be seen also that obviously he doesn't have the Ndibos at heart, judging the fact that a lot of persons are following Nnamdi Kanu with their heart. So it's a dicey call, because if he does that, what if Nnamdi Kanu travels out of the country, or he's granted bail, he decides to travel out of the country? He can't control Nnamdi Kanu from there henceforth. And I think it's a case where there may be some sort of agreement and surety. But even if there's an agreement and surety, Nnamdi Kanu, when he leaves the country, you can't control him anymore. He's now his word against yours. Well, that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Let's meet in our comment section. What's your take? Have a nice time.